Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cat Scan Guru podcast. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. It has been kind of a just very tumultuous, yes, I'm using big words, as far as the weather here in the state of Illinois. If you guys have been following the news and everything, we have gotten some very traumatic tornadoes, in a very short amount of time. And the last tornado that ripped through here 11 days ago really did a lot of damage. We're in Northwest Indiana. There's parts of Northwest Indiana that still don't have power. It's like 70,000 people that still do not. And I feel for that because I have some coworkers that live in Northwest Indiana and it's absolutely horrible. So that's kind of what's going on as far as weather wise. I think Mother Nature kind of fucking hates us. So, yeah. Quick little update for you guys because I got some juicy updates to share with you guys. So, I have really been thinking about the direction of the CAT Scan Guru brand and exactly what it is that I am set out to do. Been doing a little brainstorming and I kind of came up with something that I feel is going to help the new CT technologists coming into the field and how we can better serve them and better train them to prepare them for success. So, I currently have a few things going. So, I created a free training. So, it is an audio training that you can listen on the go at any time. So, the link is in the show notes. It's a free training where I go through 8 weeks of everything you should know as a new CT technologist and some concepts to apply when it comes to your CT training and learning everything you need to know. Now, I know it's very difficult, especially when you have trainers that can't really show you the ins and outs and can't really hone in on the basics so that you know exactly what you're doing. So, I have taken the liberty of creating this audio training just so that you can take it on the go and learn what it is that you need to know. Second thing that I've created as well, I've taken some of my most popular courses and them into a bundle. Okay. So in this bundle, you will get the CD protocols guide, the Scan Smart Pocket guide. You will get the 8 week training checklist. You will get some PDF downloads. You also get 3 to 4 courses. So it's a CT survival course. You get a course on the most common CT exams and protocols, and a course on contrast. Plus, I throw in that free training I just created. So you get all of that for $194. If you're interested in that, go to my link tree. The link is in the show notes, and you can go ahead and get that, rolling and get that going so you can get your learn on. Okay. So I've created that because sometimes people don't need a very big in-depth program. They like to, be self-paced. So self-paced is something that, some people are more comfortable with. So I decided to just bundle up these courses and give it to you, and it's available for purchase now and you get all the goodies included in it. Now, for my main thing is I've created the CT Tech Academy. So this has started out as a membership just to basically get you familiar. And I have all those courses, plus I've added some other stuff in there where I'm starting to put in protocol videos and things like that in this academy. So I took a really just deep dive on what my mission and my vision was for the CT Tech Academy. And I am structuring it and building it into a training program. So there are going to be changes in it. So if you're currently in the academy, this is not going to affect you. But if you're thinking about it, I want you to listen to what I have to say. This is turning into more of a training program and it's going to be at one price point. Okay. So I am going to really hone in and really take a deep dive and structure this program on how I feel you should learn everything you need to know in 12 weeks' time as a new CT technologist. So that is my goal for the CT Tech Academy. So the price point is going to change. It will not affect anybody that's already currently in there. So if you're thinking about it, make sure you get on in on this because once I go ahead and kind of get everything rolling, the membership monthly amount is going to go away. So it is going to be some courses that are on demand so that you can be self-led, protocol videos. So we're going to do some case reviews. We're going to do protocol breakdowns every month, Q&A every month, and I'm going to add in some extra protocol videos, extra things in there as well. So I'm going to build it so that if you're coming in and you're new, this is something that is supplemental to your training. Okay. This does not replace your training. I want you to get that straight. So, disclaimer, it is something that is supplemental and that you can learn outside of the shift. Okay. Because I feel that there really needs to be a little bit more education because when we are working with people who are training us and that work list has 30, 40 exams waiting to be scanned, it's really difficult to do that. So, this is something that you can do on your own and you can be as interactive as you can in the schoolroom. So, make sure to stay tuned for all the details of that. I will be releasing all the details on when that is going to go live. So, it's probably going to be mid September when that's going to go live because I have to implement all the modules and all the training materials and videos that are associated with that. So, the reason I did this is because I've gotten a lot of DMs, a lot of comments, and a lot of just things that people continue to ask and hoping that they would get more education, more training, something to guide them so that when they're not on the floor, they can have something to refer back to. So I figured that this would be a good avenue to go ahead and put out there so that it would really, really help the technologists out there. So make sure you check out the show notes, get the course bundle that's available now, get the free training, and get your learn on. So let's dive into today's episode. So I am going to be talking about some things in this episode that I feel are very necessary and very important to discuss. So, why you don't feel like a CG technologist yet might trigger some of you. Good, because this is the moment where we're going to really just break this down and we're going to just hone in on the things that nobody wants to talk about. So, when you're a new technologist, okay, and let's say you're almost finished training, you're just about there, or you are done training, but you still don't feel like you're very independent. Now, it's very normal to feel that way because a lot of times we do not get the proper amount of training. A lot of times we are not trained well enough. A lot of times we are trained to push buttons. I know. Every time I say the button pusher, sentence, people get fucking mad. But we're going to talk about it because it's something that we need to talk about. So, a lot of techs that are out there that are brand new, that, barely have a year of experience, maybe barely 2 years of experience, still don't feel very independent. I can really see that. And it's a very common feeling to feel because we second guess our skills because maybe we haven't had the best trainers. We didn't have enough education. We didn't have enough structure in whatever training program that was set up wherever we are, or if you even had one. I know that CT programs are not really set up to really give you the core basics. It's a lot of physics and it sets you up to just pass the registry. I mean, I'm going to be very honest with that because that's what I see. And I've dove into their curriculum and that is what I see. And I've talked to students who've gone through programs. That is exactly what they teach. They don't really teach the really bears and bones of what you're supposed to be doing. And then you're going to say, oh, Karina, well, that's what they do when they do their clinical rotation. Not always, because they're not always given the right information. They're not given the correct way to do things, or they're not giving enough guidance to be trained correctly. So, not necessarily. Maybe some do, but I could tell you most don't. Okay. The second thing, asking coworkers constantly for help. This goes back to what I say about not being trained properly because there are not enough tools and resources for the people who are training the newer technologists that are coming in, that they have the resources and the tools and to just continue to spread the knowledge so that they are set up for success. And so what you get is you get technologists that are constantly asking you for help. And then you get seasoned technologists that are saying, you should fucking know this already. Why don't you know this? And start complaining. I had somebody on a TikTok video that I did that commented that she was still a brand new technologist, was expected after 6, 8 weeks of training to work the midnights by herself and was expected to perform at an experienced level. And guess what happened to her? What happened to her is that she continually asked for help because there were certain exams that she was stuck on. And people were telling on her saying that maybe she isn't a good fit. I've had other technologists that have commented on videos on some of my TikTok videos that they have quit CT altogether because they needed more help and expressed that concern, and it was just flat out ignored. So these are the things that we really have to tackle, that if people are interested in working in CT, we have to set them up properly and for success, right? Fear of making mistakes. We are all human. We make mistakes, okay? But those mistakes can't be at the expense of the patient's life. So, a lot of new technologists, I know when I was a new technologist, like I was scared to make a mistake because I didn't want to get yelled at by a radiologist. I didn't want to get yelled at by an ordering physician. I didn't want to get yelled at by my manager. So, they have a lot of fear when it comes to making mistakes. But if you make a mistake, you recognize it, you acknowledge it, and say, okay, what is it that I can do next time so I prevent this mistake and it doesn't happen? And that's the accountability that we need to go ahead and have and show. Feeling behind. That goes back to my point number one, is making sure that whoever you're training under sets you up for success. The common thing that I see is that you get technologists who are seasoned that don't want to train techs, that hate training, don't want to educate, they gatekeep, or they just don't know enough themselves and they just say, well, this is how I learned to press this button, that button, this button, and put the patient here. That's not what we should be modeling. We should be teaching them the right way, right? So that's why a lot of them do feel behind, because they are not set up properly for success. And then the classic imposter syndrome. I can't tell you how many times I get imposter syndrome, because you feel like, well, maybe I don't know enough about this exam. Maybe I don't know how to scan this properly. I haven't seen this exam in 2 years, and do I still know how to do it and set it up? So you get imposter syndrome where you get in your head and you're saying, well, I haven't seen temporal bones in 8 months. Do I know how to scan this correctly? By the way, temporal bones are my jam. I love them. Most people don't. But you can get imposter syndrome by overthinking and just second guessing yourself and staying in that comfort zone instead of being uncomfortable and learning and expanding your knowledge. Okay. So, what is it that a new CT technologist wants? They want to feel confident. They want to be able to go on the shift and say, you know what? I got this. I can do this. Whatever's thrown at me, I can go ahead and do. Even if I don't have all the answers, I know exactly what to do or who to ask if I get stuck. Okay. Now, I want you to remember this: competence, when you're a technologist, is built on repetition. It's built on education. It's built on making sure you practice over and over again. It's not about how much time you're spending at the scanner, how much time you're memorizing things, how much time you're doing this. No, when you practice, when you repeat things to make sure that you understand and that you are knowledgeable on how to execute that exam, and you continue to educate yourself, that is where you build competence and you build confidence from. Now, if you are ready to stop piecing things together and stop trying to, dissect which, piece of information you should really listen to or not, the CT Tech Academy is what gives you that training structure and what I've created as a training program that will structure your, how you set up an exam, how you execute, and how you perform as a CT technologist from day one. Okay. So it gives you the training structure from day one with resources, community, and to keep building your CT skills. Now, let's say you're not ready for all that just yet. Okay. Let's say you want something more self paced so you can just lay down the foundation to, enhance your CT skills. So if you're not quite ready for the academy, the CT without the guesswork course bundle would be a perfect fit for you. It's very self paced. You can do it on demand anytime. And there are tools and resources within that course bundle to get you started. Okay. So make sure you check out the show notes for all those details on the academy and the course bundle. So that is it for today's episode. So make sure you share it with a technologist that really needs to really level up their CT skills. They need some guidance. They need some advice. Send them over to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you get the latest episodes when I drop them. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode, and I will chat with you guys in the next episode.